Julia Ward Howe was born in New York City in 1819. Without her father's consent or knowledge, Julia read intellectual novels that revolved around modern ideas in her early teens. In 1843, Julia married Samuel Gridley Howe, who was very well known for his efforts in education for the blind. She went from being an independent woman to a wife living in an isolated and lonely house, while her husband engaged with his philanthropy. Samuel was a typical 19th century husband. He forbade Julia from working outside the home and demanded she embrace her wifely duties obediently and to the best of her ability. During this time, Julia sank into depression. Her letters to her sisters describe the struggles of women seeking independence. Julia broke free from her constraints and anonymously posted a collection of poems called Passion Flowers. Her identity quickly became evident due to the personal information described within the poem. Her husband was furious that she would publicly challenge his authority. After this publication, Julia became more confident and steadfast in her work. She joined issues with women's rights, education, and prison reform. Although her husband did not approve, he needed Julia to manage the household and continue editing his newspaper, The Commonwealth. It is quite ironic how the man with a higher education could not edit his own work. In 1861, Julia became one of the most famous women in the 19th century. Her poem, Battle Hymn of the Republic, instantly became the song of the Union Army. For over 138 years, this song has been a fixture in patriotic programs and is still sung in schools and churches across the nation. The hymn was sung at funerals of Winston Churchill, Robert Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, and Richard Nixon. In 1876, Samuel passed away. In her first journal entry, she wrote the famous line, "I start my new life today." Indeed, she did. She became a key supporter and revolutionized the women's suffrage campaign and continued her passion in poetry. She helped Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton establish the New England Women's Suffrage Association in 1868. She later worked with the American Women's Suffrage Association and the General Federation of Women's Clubs International. She published her famous novel, Appeal to Womanhood Throughout the World, which pushed for women's peace Congress. While Howe's efforts and accomplishments may have been overshadowed by her fellow reformists, most historians refer to her as the Queen of America. Julia Ward Howe was born in New York